After this, we see what are the types of decision-making environment. That means under what circumstances a manager has to make a decision or any individual has to make a decision. There are three situations where a decision maker has to make a decision under certainty, under risk, under uncertainty. So a decision maker is making a decision under certainty means he knows all the variables. He or she knows all the variables and he has good knowledge about those kind of variables. What are the probable values those variables will also assume? Those things are also known. That means the problems mostly related to structured problems. Those kind of problems can be easily converted into mathematical equations, and those mathematical equations are solved and applied to real life situations. Or it is like this: a real life situation is converted to a mathematical problem. Those mathematical problem results in mathematical equations or equations. Then those equations are solved and that solution is applied to real life situation. So it is much easier to make a decision, or we know the outcome very perfectly. Then decision making under risk is a situation where the decision maker has various alternatives available, but each of the alternatives, the outcomes or payoffs from each of the alternatives are attached to some kind of probabilities. These probabilities are from past experience. So based upon those past experience, these probabilities are given and expected monetary values are calculated. Similarly, the decision making under uncertainty is like groping in the darkness. Even the decision maker doesn't have, and mostly unstructured problems where the decision maker cannot even attach the probabilities. It is a very, very difficult situation, but where the strategic managers are confronted with these kind of problems. Decisions are associated with the things such as expected monetary value. What expected monetary value indicates is when there are several alternatives listed out to solve a problem, then it may result in some kind of payoff which is expressed in terms of money. That is the reason we call that as expected monetary value. So what is the kind of benefit that is derived out of choosing a particular alternative in terms of money is known as expected monetary value. So naturally, when we have several alternatives available, we try to choose an alternative whichever gives us the best expected monetary value. Whether that is realized or not, only after making decisions and when the decision is executed, then we will come to know. But at that particular point of time, with whatever the kind of knowledge we have, based upon that we try to find out what could be the outcome in terms of monetary value. That is the reason we call that as expected monetary value. And similarly, we have a term known as expected value of perfect information. This expected value of perfect information, what it indicates is most of us, when we make decisions, probably we may not have all the information that is needed to make a right kind of decision. Probably in certain areas we might be lacking some kind of information. But had we known that kind of information, or had we have that availability of information, probably we would have made a much better decision. For example, we take a hotel. When we take a hotel, the hotel owner or the hotel may not be able to know how many people will visit that hotel on that particular day. If they had known that kind of thing, they would have prepared only the food that is sufficient or that is needed on that particular day for those such number of visitors or customers arriving at that hotel. Or for example, there is a magazine vendor. A magazine vendor or newspaper vendor, he will be getting the newspapers or magazines based upon the number of units sold on that particular day. But no one can really expect how many units can be sold on each day. So, but if at all that could be known, then probably that decision will be the best. So what we try to do here is, usually when we are making decisions, we make decisions based upon our past experience and available alternatives. Based upon past experience and available alternatives, we try to choose the best one, whichever gives us best expected monetary value, or EMV. But there is an ideal situation, theoretically, where we exactly know what is the maximum potential, or we have complete information about the arrival of the customers or any decision situation. So, if that is there, even it would be a better decision than which you have chosen one. The difference between the expected monetary value of the alternative which we have chosen and the perfect situation, where we have perfect information, it is known as expected value of perfect information. That means the perfect information would have resulted in some more revenue or some more money, which is known as expected value of perfect information.